Hey y'all, I just want to share that um, it is important to be good and to be nice to others. It doesn't matter what you're going through, we should not show anger or hatred towards anybody just because we are going through a tough time. We've got to learn to trust God, just let it go, pray to God, and that's it. Forget about it because God is going to be working on it. If it's in His will, ask God in His will that whatever you ask for, believe that He is working on it. Um, because, you know, there are angels all around us. I know I've gone through so many things that there's no way I could have got through it. I know a guardian angel was there protecting me. Um, but anybody can be an angel to somebody else. You know, um, just smiling to somebody. You know, you never know what kind of impact that could be, that can make on somebody that's hurting. You know, just being nice. Um, Anything you can do to help somebody, you're an angel to them. I know I mean, it doesn't matter what age. Everybody was put on this earth for a reason. I know I lived in a house, and my oldest son, he's 21 now. But when he was 6 years old, we had a house with an above ground pool. It was just a 15-foot pool. Um, but it had a deck and it had a gate. But I was inside. And I do not let my kids go outside unless I'm watching them, just because I am that kind of mom. But this specific day, for some reason, Luke, my oldest, he was 6 at the time, was outside. And there's this little boy that lived across the street and down a couple houses. He lived in the corner of a house. He was 5 years old. He would always come to the house. It was either he'd just go in the shed and look for stuff to play with, and none of us even would even know he was there, but he would just come over. I don't think his mom ever knew he was at our house unless she just yelled for him to come, yelling for him to come home. But this particular day, it was a summer day. He had went to the pool, opened the gate, and decided to jump in. No floaties, no mom, no adult, nobody around. He could not swim. Well, my son, instead of coming in, yelling, telling me, I forgot his name, so and so jumped in the pool. He jumped in himself and drug him to the edge of the pool. Now, my son, he could barely stick his head out of the water. But thank God that the Lord used him to save this child. I don't even know what I would do being a kid and another kid jumping in the pool drowning. Honestly, I do not know. But thank goodness my son was so smart enough to jump in and save him. And he was his guardian angel that day. You don't have to be a spirit to be a guardian angel. You can just go about your day just asking God who you can help today, because that's my goal every day now. I go to church and that's it. We go to work and think that it stops there. But I've gotten so close to God that I want him to use me every day to help others. If there's somebody that needs help, I want God to teach me how to help those. But it is so important to show love to others every day, even though we're hurting. Because Lord knows I struggle in many different situations. The devil has tried to bring me down so much lately, but I am learning more and more that any negative thing that I go through, it's the devil trying to bring me down. And the more you learn to let it go and say, you know, God is my glory, and I know he doesn't wish for anything bad to happen to me. I'm not going to let the devil win. The more you put God over any of your anxieties, any over any of your fears, over any of your doubts, over any of your struggles, you get rid of the negativity, and more happiness comes. The more you give it to God, the less stress you are, the less stress you realize you can overcome. So just learning to stay positive. And I used to get upset over the little things. I used to get so angry at my kids and my teenagers. I have 3 teenagers, 3 older ones. And I felt like all I was doing is yelling at them. And I thought, God, why do I yell at them all the time? And I've learned that I was pushing them away. And I always cut all my kids' hair, all my boys' hair. And, I realized they're not little anymore, but they still need me. And when they would come and ask me, Mom, can you cut my hair? It's like, I'm not going to push them away. I'm not going to yell at them anymore, That's the devil. That's not the way we are to speak to others. We are to respect others. We don't want anything ugly coming out of our mouth, because you can't be a Christian and bad things coming out of your mouth. And I have put that aside. Me and my kids, we're so happy. I am so happy every day. Even if they don't come talk to me because they're so busy, that's okay. I know they're going to come to me eventually because they need something. But it's so much happier and so less stressful when you learn to speak to others nicely. You don't push anybody away. You don't have any negativity between you two. But I've learned every day, what can I do today for somebody else? And it's so rewarding to know that you're doing something for God. And God puts people in my paths too. And I see that, and I thank him all the time for that, to put me through situations that I can learn through. And I just pray that God continues to use me to help others. And I pray that you learn, if you're struggling, you learn to let it go. Don't let the devil win, and give it all to God, because the more you do, the happier you will become.